to another inspiring episode of the No Limits Life podcast, where we share stories of impact, passion, and purpose. So let's begin with today's quote from the No Limits Life 60 Seconds Daily Boost. A healthy mindset begins with understanding health itself. And today's guest exemplifies that quote through every chapter of his journey. Ken Kwilosz is an entrepreneur, broadcaster, and philanthropist. At just 21 years old, he became the first broadcast television sales intern in Phoenix, Arizona. While still a junior at Northern Arizona University, Ken became the first rookie account executive in Phoenix television history, and by 22 was already making a mark at KTSB TV, the CBS affiliate. His career took off quickly, and by his early 30s, Ken was helping to launch new TV stations, eventually becoming general sales manager at KTVK TV in Phoenix. He later transitioned into automotive and returned to broadcasting as general manager and VP of KPHE TV before becoming the GM of Lotus radio station in Tucson, where he helped the group become the top revenue-producing radio operation in the city. Ken and his wife, Susie, co-founded Willoughby Investments and Services, focusing on real estate, and now run Suken Entertainment, producing over 15 concerts and events annually across Arizona and the West Coast, all with a mission to give back. Every project support a nonprofit cause, especially in behavioral health, youth, and military. Ken, welcome to the No Limits Life podcast.
Thanks, Nordine. You look mighty fine today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's such an honor to have you. We've known each other for a long time, but
Yes, we have.
It's like I'm meeting you for the first time over again. Before we dive into your journey, tell us, how does this quote that I read this earlier, a healthy mindset begins with understanding health itself. How does it resonate?
I know what it's like to have a healthy mind and a sick mind. And until I had a sick mind, I didn't know. Like, when I would hear stories about people that had mental problems, behavioral health problems, I felt bad for them, but I didn't mean much to me until it happened to me. And once it happened to me, it's very dark. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And,
I was there.
Yeah.
You
were there. You were there. And it's a terrible place.
And I saw what Ken and felt what Ken is explaining here.
So I know what it's like. And then when I came back from that, it took me 3.5 years to get out of that dark hole. I'm very grateful every day that I'm back. There's just so many people out there that suffer from this. Now that I have an understanding of it, that's one of the reasons that I try to give back to those organizations that are about behavioral health, because especially we do a lot of concerts and there's so many people, artists, that any kind of art, I don't know what it is about the brain, but it seems like a lot of artists suffer from some kind of behavioral health.
Yeah. Before we dive into what you're doing for the community and in your own life, I wanted to go back to this understanding health thing. As the quote so eloquently mentioned, a healthy mindset begins with understanding health itself. Tell us how it feels, to go from a sick person having issues, mental health issues, to a healthier one. What is happening between one and getting to the other? In other words, you knew what it took to be healthy before you were sick.
Yep.
Okay. But you were not aware until you got sick.
No.
So that's the difference between knowing, having the knowledge and content, and actually feeling that you actually are sick. If we don't know that we're sick, we can't get better.
Right. This hit me before this last time. It hit me probably 15 years before that. And I didn't know what was happening. I got in a very deep depression. And because I had anxiety and depression, they kind of go together. My anxiety was so bad, I couldn't go to sleep. So I thought, well, I'll just drink to go to sleep. That's the answer. And so then I would drink to go to sleep. I'd sleep a couple hours because alcohol turns to sugar, wakes you up. And then I'd wake up at about, 1 in the morning. And for a while there, I couldn't go back to sleep. And then I thought, well, wait a second. It works when I go to sleep. Maybe it'll help put me back to sleep. So you drink to go back to sleep. And before I know it, I'm drinking at 5 in the morning just so I can sleep another hour. That doesn't work so well.
It was both the solution and the problem. Alcohol.
It was a terrible thing. Yeah. And so then I was fine for 15 years. And I was sitting in the offices here in Tucson, in my office at the radio stations. And I felt it coming on as I was driving to the stations. And I remember this psychiatrist, he told me, hey, this is how these things work. You may never deal with this ever again. And once that happens, no more medication. And I thought the medication was terrible, by the way. And so...
And by the way, we are not against any outlets out there, whether it be through psychology or psychiatry, medication. I want to mention and make it clear that we're not against that at all. Mm-mm. So if you hear...
it works on some people.
Yeah, if you hear our guests, talking about the things that didn't work for them, by all means, this is not about debunking anything or going against anyone or anything.
And not all medications are for everybody. Some, a lot of times they have to try different medications until they hit on the right one, because it's not exact science.
Yeah, and I think the purpose of the show is to inspire. So I want the listeners to be in your shoes. I want you to tell them how it felt knowing, I guess, going from the knowing to the doing. So you got, Well,
I was in my office, and I knew this hit me. And so I got so scared because I knew what happened the first time, how terrible it was. And I could just feel it coming on, and I couldn't get out of it. And this happens fast, and that's what this person told me, this doctor told me. He says, hey, if this ever happens to you again, it's going to happen quicker and deeper. And he was right on the money. So I'm in my office, and I started panicking a little bit. I didn't know what to do. I shut my door to the office, and I Googled, because I didn't have any kind of doctor to help me. So I started Googling psychiatrists. I didn't know what to do. And so luckily, by some miracle, this woman a doctor was able to take me in within a couple hours, because normally they're booked out weeks in advance. And so I went in there, and I was with a PA, and the PA, you could tell she knew I had a big problem, so she called in the doctor, and the doctor says, yeah, you have a big problem. You probably should go to the hospital.
So that's the awareness that we're talking about.
Yeah, so she helped point it out to me that you got to get help. And so I was supposed to take my boys to a concert when I drove home. It was during the day, and they were going to Phoenix from Tucson, and they were standing in the driveway, and they were all packed, and I could a big sign for me is I couldn't pack. So I went, it was just for a couple nights, and I couldn't pack. I didn't know what to pack. So I did the best I could, and it didn't work. And so I went out in the driveway where they were waiting for me, because we're all going to go together. I said, guys, I'm not going to be able to go. I have to drive myself to the hospital. And so they went, because I wanted them to go play in Phoenix, and I drove myself to the hospital. Thank God.
You and I spoke about that many times. And when I before you went to the hospital, I saw you, and you were in a dark place, yes.
Very dark, yeah.
And you sought help. You got your help, the help you needed, and now you're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good to be back, that's for sure.
We're not going to get into the element of what happened at the hospital, because we need a longer podcast for that. And I don't think it's even relevant. What we want to know here is, now you got to that state of awareness, and you're doing so many things, both for your family. You're a generous person. I know that. And both before you got sick and you got better, I always thought that of you.
I'm more generous now than I was.
You're a giver. Yeah. That's for sure. And so...
Feels good when you give. You always get something good back.
Yeah, and
it's selfish, honestly.
Again,
I give because it's the law of the universe. When you give, you get back. And,
life gives to the giver and takes from the takers, right? You've heard that plenty of times before.
It's a true statement.
Before I want to ask you more about the what you're doing here, are you better?
Thank God I'm better. But I got to tell you, there is a little thing in the back of my mind, always a little bit worried that, I never want to go there again. So I do talk to people now. I used to keep all this to myself, which is the worst thing you could possibly do. And now I share people with friends. I have a few close friends that they know what happened to me, and even a therapist. I went through so many therapists because I didn't like any of them. They just weren't a fit, and I thought, oh, this is hocus pocus. But I finally came across a shaman. I came across a therapist. He only works with men. And both those people, the shaman's a woman. Yeah. The therapist is a man. He only works with men. And they both help me. And I've told both of them, if I ever feel this coming on again, I'm calling you immediately. Yeah, and so I need help.
You have your
I have support.
You have your support. You have your rituals and
I meditate. I never used to meditate.
People may be, again, this show is not about promoting any kind of religious beliefs or beliefs altogether. It's about what works for people.
Yeah.
And people like to,
Well, I had people that cared about me that got me help.
Yeah, yeah. And what I'm trying to say,
sometimes you get so sick you can't help yourself.
What I'm trying to say is the outlets to cope with this are many.
Yep.
Whether it be exercise, yoga, nutrition, prayer, meditation, but the key is to get to that point of awareness.
Yeah.
Knowing is important, but feeling it is much more important. When the pain of feeling miserable exceeds the status quo, one does what one needs to be doing.
Right.
And that's important.
Well, I'm so lucky now because when I had these people telling me when I was getting help, they said, well, you're going to be different when you're going to get better. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to get better. I had this for 3.5 years. It's not going to get better.
The clouds in the sky never stay forever.
Right.
And the sky does not complain about the clouds.
Yeah. They were right. I got better.
In other words, you got the clouds that came in, you did what you needed to be doing, and they're gone. They may come back, but you know what to do about them. This leads us to the other question that I have for you. When did you realize you wanted to be a salesperson?
That's interesting. So I actually wanted to be in the motion picture business. And I have friends that have done it. The guys I went to high school with, a few of the guys, they were brave. They moved to Los Angeles, just like you should do. I was too chicken. I stayed. I didn't move. And because of that, my mom actually encouraged me. She goes, well, you should be in, what do you want to do? And I guess she knew I liked motion pictures. And I think she looked at this community college and she found something about radio and TV. And I got in that. And I had no idea what sales was about. I took a broadcast sales class. I thought they wanted me to sell television sets and radios, right? Because it's called broadcast sales. Well, it turns out the class was on selling advertising, which I learned. And then I read my first book when I was 19. It's Tom Hopkins, How to Master the Art of Selling. And I just reread the book 40 years later. I kept the book, and it's got highlights, and the pages are yellow.
We all have one of those books.
It's awesome.
In the shelf.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, I have your book. I have your book too, by the way.
You.
I have all your books.
Thank you.
So I reread the book, and it's timeless information. And at 19, as I read it, I just got more and more excited about selling. And everybody at school thought I was an oddball because nobody wants to be in sales. And but I did, and I'm glad I did it.
How did you meet your wife, Susie?
I met her in 8th grade. So I was...
she's an amazing lady, by the way.
Yeah, she's awesome. So I'm walking down the hallway, and it was between classes in 8th grade. It was Conley Junior High, and it was in Tempe. And I'm walking, and I see this really pretty girl walking towards me, little girl with very long black hair. And she just walked past me, and that was it. And I just turned and looked, and she kept walking, and that was it. And I couldn't get her out of my mind.
It's so amazing you saying that, because you're not the first one who says that they crossed paths with the person they ended up being with.
It just felt like I didn't feel like I was going to marry her. It just felt like,
see, what I'm trying to say here is that, and this is what my father said to me one day, and he said, the one person that ironically, my father was forced marriage, but he loved my mom. But he said, the one person that you're going to fall in love with and stay with is the person that you're going to cross paths with. It's not a person you're going to look for.
Mm-hmm. It just happened.
Exactly. So
it just happened.
It's
in 8th
and that
grade,
happened to me too. I mean, this is exactly what happened. So tell us about because Susie embodies. She's a little angel. She's got that energy, vibrant energy about her. She's amazing. So how do you guys make it work? I mean,
I just do whatever she tells me to do.
How long you been together?
Oh my gosh, we've been together since we were, let's say, 13. So that has to be 50.
You really want people to know your age,
48
right? Okay.
years, almost 50 years, almost 50 years.
So
Yeah,
50 years. I remember
I'm 80 now.
when I was the wellness and fitness director at Miraval. I had this gentleman who was married for 65 years.
Wow.
And I asked him. I said, I think that when that happened, I was married for maybe 2 years. And still trying to understand how to make it work.
Right.
And he said, take a piece of paper. So I took a piece of paper, and he said, write on one side, it's never better next door. It's just different. And then he said, turn the page and write this. If you're looking for trouble, you'll find it. Hence, yes, dear. The key to successful relationship is do things together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and we were friends too. I mean, Susie didn't want everything. I mean, she didn't mind being my friend, but I asked her out at least 5 times. And 5 times, by the way, that was how I learned the art of rejection for sales, because she turned me down at least 5 times. I kept asking her dances, and I'd go up to her, do you want to go dance with me? No. So I did, although I did take her to 8th grade graduation dance, but in high school, the answer was always no. And then finally, so I learned rejection. I learned how to be, sent away on my merry way. No, I'm not going to go to dance with you. But then eventually I wore her down. She said yes.
The relationship that you entertain your wife is purely from a place of love, understanding, and compassion for both, for yourself and for her.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's because you learn to be loving yourself and having self-compassion for yourself?
You have to, yeah. You have to love yourself first.
And it, for the listeners out there, this sounds corny, but it's not. One needs to really feel that love for oneself, and that's self-compassion, in order to project it onto another. In order to understand others, you need to understand yourself. And that's how you can entertain a relationship.
Yep.
Relationships are always up and down, up and down. But what really makes relationship work is compassion and understanding of each other. Another couple that I met at the store, there's a little couple, it's a two little person walking together, and they were like they had to be over 90.
Oh, wow.
So I had to stop them.
Yeah.
And I said, are you guys husband and wife? Yeah. How long you been married? Oh my God, we don't even know. Too long. And so I said, what's your secret? And he said to me, he looked at me, young man, do you really want to know? And I said, yeah. The minute I realized she was different is the minute I started getting along with her.
Oh, that's funny.
And I asked her, and she goes, same. So it's knowing that your partner is different, and don't try to fix anything.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
Right.
Right? No, the minute you know that your partner is different is the minute you start getting along with your partner. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're lucky too, because we knew each other for so long, as we were growing up, literally as we were kids growing up. So I knew her as a person. She knew me as a person. I never tried to make her into anything she wasn't. And the same thing with me. She already knew who I was, So that worked pretty well.
Exactly. And this is how I deal with my own relationship, whether it's my girlfriend or my kids, is understanding them, listening to them, not trying to defend myself all the time and upwind them and control.
Listening is, in a relationship, super important. I've gotten better at it. Before I got sick, I would look at her with my eyes glazed over, and I'd always be thinking what I'm going to do next. And I was never in the moment, but I'm much more in the moment now.
Yeah, delivery is important.
Yep.
The same message can be delivered in a reactive mode and a responsive mode. One can hurt, the other makes things better.
Yeah.
And that is deep listening.
I'm better now at listening.
Listen deeply and then talk when you need to talk.
Right.
Not to react. And it's pretty much the same thing with everything we do. Ken, tell us about your family.
You know about Susie now, but we have our oldest son is a medical provider. His name he's Kenny the Third, so he's Tres, because Susie is.
So his name is Tres.
Well, that's his nickname, Tres. He's Kenny the Third. And then we have Matt and Nick, so we have very unusual situation.
Twins.
We have mirror identical twins. So one's right-handed, one's left-handed. They look different now because one's a bodybuilder, the other one is a lead singer.
We have them on the show, by the way.
Yeah, they're great. They're real. They're all three are phenomenal. But when they were little, when the twins were little, I would stand behind them in a mirror, and they literally would do this. Like mirror twins is a thing, and but they're all great. I mean, my favorite time with all three of them is in the gym. That's the best time because we just harass each other. And you saw me with Trace one time, and I just love going to the gym with them. It's like our time together.
So the twins, they have a band.
They have a band called Alien Atmosphere, and they're touring around, playing a lot of concerts. They've got a music video coming up this Sunday. They just got done shooting one in Los Angeles. It's called Cruel Summer. And so, yeah, they've got a lot of fun stuff going on with their music.
These two kids, I love them. I love them. They're goofballs. Their music is amazing.
Yeah.
But, yes.
We should use it as our theme song.
Yeah, we should. We should. By the way, guys, in case you didn't know, Ken is my co-host on the No Limit Life podcast. Before we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to share? Any upcoming events, whether it's for you or the kids, ways to get involved, where people can connect with you?
Well, they can always, look for me on Facebook. Maybe just send me a note on Facebook. The other thing is, I would just say that what I want to do and what I'd encourage everybody to do, and we already talked about this, but give when you can give, because it'll come back tenfold.
Absolutely. I cannot agree more. And to our incredible listeners, thank you for tuning in. If you like the show, please join and subscribe, and please share with other people that may need to listen to the inspiring words that our guests have to say. Till next time, thank you for watching and thank you for listening.